So the development of human face is a very complex and very systematic process. In that process, we'll see neural crest cell, facial swelling, stomodium, frontonasal prominence, maxillary prominence, mandibular prominence, development of nose, nasal placodes, medial and lateral nasal prominence, nasolacrimal groove. So all these, the development of human face starts from neural crest cells. Neural crest cells arise from this embryonic ectoderm cell layer, and these neural crest cells will migrate, and this migration will form other structures. At the end of week 4, facial swellings are developed. The face is developed from these facial swellings. How? We'll see later. Now let's see what is stomodium. Basically, stomodium is your future mouth. It is formed by an ectodermal depression. The stomodium is surrounded by the first pharyngeal arches. These mesenchymes will proliferate and will form structures around this stomodium. Let's see what are the structures which are bounding this stomodium. The first one is unpaired medial frontonasal prominence, which constitutes the upper boundary of the stomodium. The next one is paired maxillary prominence or swelling of first branchial arch. This will form the lateral or the sides of the stomodium. And the next one is paired mandibular prominence or swelling, which will develop this lower boundary of the floor of the stomodium. Then let's see how nose is getting developed. For that, we have to know about nasal placodes. So what is nasal placode? It is a bilateral oval-shaped projection on the surface ectoderm that develops on each side of this lower part of frontonasal prominence and just above the stomodium by the end of 4th week. And by mesenchymal proliferation, at the placode's margin by week 5, horseshoe-shaped medial and lateral nasal prominences will get developed. And now the nasal placodes will lie on the depression which is called as nasal pit. And the lateral swellings will form the ala of the nose. The medial swellings will form the middle part of the nose. By week 6 to 7, the nasal cavities are well formed. Now the maxillary prominence and the medial nasal prominences will approach together. The nasolacrimal groove marks the cleft or furrow separating the lateral nasal and maxillary prominences. And the nasolacrimal ducts will form from a linear ectodermal thickening. And during the week 6 to 7, the medial nasal and the maxillary prominences will fuse together and forms the intermaxillary segment of the upper jaw and gives rise to the middle part of the philtrum of upper lip and also middle part of the upper jaw and associated gingiva and primary palate. The maxillary prominence forms the lateral part of the upper lip, the upper jaw, the secondary palate. They merge laterally with the mandibular prominence. The frontonasal prominence will form the forehead and the dorsum and apex of the nose. The two mandibular prominences will merge in week 4 and then the groove between them will vanish by the week 5. And these two mandibular prominences will give rise to the lower jaw, lower lip and lower part of the face. And the lips and gingiva will also develop by the thickening of this ectoderm. The process of development of human face is a very long process. That is a process of how our faces are developed. Now you know that. Still there's a lot to know. See you next time.